Good morning, welcome back to Into the Vale. I'm Rachel, your host. Thought we would pick a different spot to have some communication, or as Anku calls it, transmission. Same thing. We found a couple of neat things back here, and I thought I would get Ken to help me show you. I kind of feel like we were brought to this spot, in fact, for the uniquity of one thing. Right up there, and we've been through here I don't know how many times, but this tree, and what came to mind when I saw it was a heart, and it's like they even broke the limb that was going up the middle, so it could look like a trident, but it just felt like it was about the heart. I don't know. It's beautiful. And then we have another X right up here. I'm going to walk toward it.
We are on the hill on the backside of Skunky Island, just to give you a reference point.
We get a lot of activity up here, but we don't. This summer we haven't spent a huge amount of time up here, just because of ticks and bugs and all that
There's
goodness.
Footprints everywhere right there. And another spot against the base of that tree right there.
Looks like a sitting spot. So this kind of has the feeling of being a living room. It's very comfortable, it's very relaxed. I was feeling them moving in a little bit to this space. They're fascinated with, first of all, I'm looking for Anku, please. They're fascinated with this new method of communication. They're still really reserved with cameras or anything. They seem okay with us filming, but things like trail cams or anything that's deceptive is what they don't like. I get the feeling that they just don't like to be played for fools, and they are just super aware of anything that's electronic. Even the audio recorders, they're kind of at peace with those for the most part, but they know they're there. And people get upset because they can't catch them on film, or they can't catch, audio. Or we also have asked, within reason, certain permission to do what we do. And it's just kind of an agreeance, because they've been gracious with us to the effect that we don't bring outsiders in. They've made it really clear to me that if we actually did that, they would just hide. It really, and the way that it was communicated is, why would you basically go arm in arm to create gloom? And what I felt in that statement was that if we went arm in arm with people, our people, and it created a distance with these people, that ultimately at the end of the day it would just make us sad, because we would not have the interaction that we have currently. I also had at least one ask about why I use the rods. Understand that since, there's our friend Crow again, July, particularly, so end of June, but particularly July, the energy's been very dense. And what we have kind of been shown is that with the earth resonating at a higher vibration now, man hasn't caught up yet. So I believe it's 7.38 is the natural hertz that the earth and we as people would resonate in. But with the earth shifting and raising in that vibration, there's a band. He shows me it. I'm gonna get him.
Gonna have crow pie if he keeps it up.
Oh, God bless the crows. As we say in the house, bless his heart. There's a band of energy that resides between the two. And that band is what we would know as chaos. If he were to give it a name, it's chaos.
Do you just hear that little wood clack?
Yeah. That's what I said there. And I'm getting really goosebumpy, so I'm having to focus a little bit. Bear with me, guys, until things settle down here. But ultimately what that means is as we grow, as we evolve and raise our vibration to match the earth, the chaos will keep minimalizing.
Crows must stay in that gray state.
I'm wondering what he'd look like without feathers at the moment.
You know, when I make these rods, they're copper, and the insides are treated with gold, silver, platinum, and crystal dust. They are created to pick up frequencies, vibrations, energies, to focus.
They're agreeing. It's so funny because, and the irony in this is that they, and I'm going to step on a limb here by saying this, so bear with me and listen to what I'm saying. All of these represent life force. All of these represent a form of energy, a form of consciousness. But for me, they're a conduit or a way to direct the energy into, it has something to do with holding them and my thought wave patterns.
It's an extension cord to plug into what's being given.
And I can do it without the rods. I have found that with this dense energy that it has been, and it's beginning to lift a little bit, but I have found that it's easier and better. Okay, who's behind me? I just heard panting like a dog. Right behind me. Junior, is that you? right behind me. Oh my goodness. Hang on, guys. Hi. You can say. Okay. He loves this. He loves our conversations. Okay. Just, you know, if you get too close, the camera gets really, really weird.
But in a tool usage sense, if you wanted to put a screw into the wall, do you want to use your fingers or do you want to use a power drill? These are tools to help connect in a stronger fashion.
And the whole thing is none of it's magical. People think it's magic. It's not magic. These are things that have been given to us in the earth. These are things that, like everything, where we get in trouble is when we use these things. We use technology for destruction. Anku's reminding me of the walls of Jericho and how frequency is just as negative as it is positive. You know, when they marched around, there was how many days? 7 days? Solid with this vibration. And it built a band. It built a barrier. And when the horn was blown, it shattered that barrier and anything in its proximity. This is pure physics. This is pure laws of science at work.
No different than hitting a high C note and shattering a crystal glass.
He says yes.
The vibrational frequency at its peak, when it's dispersed, will annihilate everything in its course.
So needless to say, there are a lot of programs out there that are developing sound warfare or certain things that are using infrasound, and it's affecting us. So it's important that we take the initiative to learn about how to shield ourselves, especially from the infrasound, but to become more in tune, he says, with how things feel. And he said it's becoming cliche, but it's the truth. If you step into a space, if you're out in the woods, for example, and you step into a space that just suddenly doesn't feel right, go with your gut. Don't, understand the vortices or vortices and the portals. It's just even in the way that trees are mapped out. Trees are very key to many, many things that we have not been taught about. They're very key to these people, all nature spirits. I've seen where they have the capability to use the energy of the tree as, call it a food source, but it is in the process of photosynthesis and the sun's energy. They are so in tune with every bit of nature. So when we say nature, we're not just talking about green leaves on a tree. We're talking about the entire process of nature. And something that he has encouraged us to do is, he calls it the orb path. And the orb path, I've had to really sit on a little bit. They use a lot of orb energy, as most of us know. He defines our, is it soul or spirit? Soul. Spirit. Our soul and spirit they see it as an orb. They see it, and when we're in the woods, or so many have been at night, and there's Hawk. When we've been in the woods at night, you guys often have reported orbs, seeing orbs. And it's that life force that we're seeing. We have put together a video on the quantum mechanics and quantum physics, speaking of energy and how our reality manifests most specifically. But he shows me that even our thoughts, I know you're back there, even our thoughts float like orbs into what we call that matrix, or I think in the video that we were speaking of an experiment and how it hits a screen as a result in a scientific mode. He said more specifically it's a grid. It's a grid, and there are many grids. And that, okay, the way it hits the grid determines how it reaches you. So the visual I'm getting is, let's say you pray or you meditate and you're requesting anything. You have rent due. When you issue that thought and that request, if it is not just thought but felt from the heart, it's like it reaches one type of network or grid or power place. If you meet that request with anxiousness, hesitation, a subconscious thought, I don't know why I'm bothering to ask because it's probably not going to happen anyway, but here goes. It reaches a whole different type of grid energetically. Like attracts like. Energy attracts energy. So he's saying that if you really want to be the best creative selves that you can be, put it out there with feeling, with the understanding that it'll be taken care of. It is not your job to take care of it. So as quickly as you put it out there, give thanks for it and let it go. Just let it go. And let it process appropriately. Because otherwise you're just pulling back down on it. If it reaches that place, you're just pulling back down on it and changing the dynamic of pure thought.
One more ingredient into that is you have to believe unequivocally that it is already done, that it has already happened.
And don't worry about the details. Don't worry about, he's saying, don't worry about all that little stuff. Don't get caught up in the trivialities of how it's going to happen. Just know that it will. And he said many have difficulty receiving. They ask, they want it, and they ask for it. But then it feels like when God would bless us, or when that would try to reach us, He shows me turning, like you're turning your back on it. And it's from a different place. It's from your subconscious. That it may try to reach you in little gifts. You know, your neighbor might try to do something for you, or you might find a dollar bill on the ground. Well, most of us are probably okay with picking that up. But a lot of people, he said, have difficulty in receiving blessings. And half of that giving is in the receiving. And I've had a few people brought to me this week. It seems to be part of a wave of energy that Spirit's trying to clean out and trying to heal within us. What else about the quantum, Anku? Anything else? They travel a lot on what he calls the orb path. It falls very much in line with our I am, which is here. And he said, be careful when you use I am, because they are two powerful words. If you say, I am sick, you have just rolled in the thunder and opened the door because of I am. I am creates, but it also, it's the push behind manifesting realities. He said that he would prefer, if we use I am, to use it for the positive. I am well. I am blessed. I am abundant. I am happy. I am loved. And to start becoming aware that if you feel something negative in your field, in your vibrational pattern, and that's what it is. You are one big vibrational pattern. If you start to feel something off, if you start to feel something, let's say you feel a twinge of anger, realize anger, or any of the negatives, anger, depression, lack, various illnesses, all of these things come from a palm of fear. Just like the positives come from a palm of love. If you want to fix it effectively, look at that emotion. Observe it. Don't judge it. Observe it. And say, okay, what is it really trying to tell me? Or what am I really afraid of? And if you can get to that root, recognize it. Again, don't judge it. Recognize it. And say, well, I don't have to be afraid. of that, you know. And it takes a deeper thought. Quantum mechanics and quantum physics take a deeper thought. But if we truly want to know ourselves and want to know how our energy and the universe, source, all these things work together, we sometimes have to take a plunge into places that might not be comfortable. They might stretch our brain out a little bit. The biggest power grid, he's saying, is love. The most powerful prayers are from mothers. And they go, it's almost like I see God sitting right behind that power grid, and it's like they just go straight to source. They go straight to, and it's because of the heart space. And granted, not all women are living their highest truth, but the mother that's in us, if we can use that energy, he's saying it can heal the world, not just our own families. If we approach our request with the love of a mother, it's just, I mean, it feels overwhelming, the impact that it can have. Okay. Any other questions or anything? Anything else, Anku? Okay. All right. So I guess that's our visit for today. I thank you for being here. I hope that you'll like, share, and subscribe. These people are great. You're great. And I hope that you have a great holiday weekend coming, and that we'll see you very soon. Thank you.